Good morning friends. Today we will discuss about the circulation from B.SC. third year class, paper number 2nd, mammalian physiology and endocrinology. Circulation, the movement of body fluids from one part of the body to other parts is called as circulation. First discovered by William Harvey in 1628. This circulatory system mainly two types: open type of circulatory system and closed type of circulatory system. Here in this open type of circulatory system, blood comes out of the vessel. The internal organs are directly bathed in the blood, example arthropoda and annelida. And closed type of circulatory system, in this type of circulatory system, blood circulate in the closed blood vessel. The circulatory system mainly performs different functions. It transports oxygen and nutrients to the cells. It regulates body temperature. It also transports CO2 and excretory waste product from the cells. It involves in osmoregulation. Circulatory system mainly consists two parts, heart and blood vessels. Let us we discuss about the internal structure of heart. The heart is four-chambered muscular pump located inside the thoracic cavity. It is conical in shape and sized roughly like a man's closed fist. It is a myogenic heart. The heart is covered by fibrous sac called as pericardium. Heart is covered by fibrous sac called as pericardium. The wall of heart is made up of three layers. The outer layer of heart wall is called as epicardium. The middle layer made up of cardiac muscle. It is called as myocardium. Middle layer myocardium, outer layer epicardium, and inner layer of heart wall, it is called as endocardium. It is made up of thin layer of epithelial cells. Inner layer, it is called as endocardium, made up of thin layer of epithelial cells. Chambers of heart. This heart is four-chambered and namely two auricles. These two auricles are thin-walled and two ventricles. These are thick-walled. The auricles are named as right auricle and left auricle. Similarly, ventricle is also named as right ventricle and left ventricle. The right auricle and left auricle are separated by a transparent membrane, and this partition, fibrous partition, called as interarterial septum in between right and left auricle. Here partition, fibrous partition present, it is called as interarticular septum. Similarly, in between the right ventricle and left ventricle, here also separated by interventricular septum in the middle. Here interventricular septum is present. The auricles are separated from the ventricle by auriculoventricular septum. Here auricle and ventricle separated by auriculoventricular septum. The right auricles opens into the right ventricle by right auriculoventricular aperture. Similarly, left auricle opens into left ventricle by left auriculoventricular aperture. The right auricle receives deoxygenated blood through three veins. Right auricles receives deoxygenated blood through three veins, two precavals and one postcaval veins, and left auricle also receives blood from the pulmonary vein. The right auricles receive deoxygenated blood through three veins, namely inferior vena cava and superior vena cava coronary vein, and the left auricle receives oxygenated blood from the lungs, that is pulmonary vein. Two main blood vessels carry blood from the ventricles. One large aortic arch carries blood from the left ventricle. Here systematic aorta carries blood from the left ventricle and supplies blood towards the different parts of the body except the lung. The pulmonary aorta carries blood from the right ventricle. Here right ventricle forms the pulmonary aorta, and this pulmonary aorta supplies blood to the lung for purification. Valves of the heart. The pumps need a set of valves to keep the fluid flowing in one direction. The heart contains three types of valves. They are bicuspid valves, tricuspid valves, and semilunar valves. The left auriculoventricular aperture is guarded by valve called as bicuspid valve. It is also called as mitral valve. Here right auricle and right ventricle. Here auriculoventricular septum guarded by tricuspid valves, and these tricuspid valves containing three flaps and bicuspid valves containing two flaps. The valves between the right ventricle and pulmonary trunk is the pulmonary semilunar valves, and the valves between the left ventricle and aorta, here semilunar valves are present in the systematic trunk, and these semilunar valves prevents backflow of blood towards the ventricle. When the ventricle contracts, bicuspid and tricuspid valves are closed. When these ventricle contract, here bicuspid and tricuspid valves close, and bicuspid and tricuspid valves close. When these ventricle relax, the semilunar valves close. When the ventricle contract, bicuspid and tricuspid valves close to prevent backflow of blood into the arteria. When the ventricle relax, semilunar valves close to prevent backflow of blood into the ventricles. Both tricuspid and bicuspid valves are fastened to small conical muscles called as papillary muscles, and these papillary muscles on the ventricular walls present through several tendinous strands. It is called as corda tendini. The heartbeat is initiated by special tissue called as pacemaker, and the impulse heartbeat start in the SA node, and the impulse transmitted towards the auriculoventricular node, and from auriculoventricular nodes the impulse transmitted towards the papillary muscles and Purkinje fibers and to the various regions of the ventricle. The heart is supplied by nerves of sympathetic and parasympathetic system. They regulate the heartbeat The heart muscles are supplied by special type of circulation. It is called as coronary circulation. In human being, the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood does not mix with each other, and these deoxygenated and oxygenated blood remains separate. The right half of the heart is concerned with deoxygenated blood, and left half of chamber is concerned with the oxygenated blood. And there are two types of circulation. It is called as pulmonary circulation and systematic circulation. When the oxygenated blood from the lungs returns to the heart via pulmonary circulation, which is pumped again through the systematic circulation, provides different parts of the body. Thus, the blood passes twice through the heart, making one complete round through the body, and this is called as double circulation. This is all about the histology of heart. Thank you.